Hello, welcome to the Economic Times Business Verticals India AI Dialogue. I'm Shipra Malhotra, editor with the Economic Times CIO, and I'm being joined by Mohit Sharma, who is the Chief Digital AI and Transformation Officer at Generali Central Life Insurance. Welcome, Mohit. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Shipra, my pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Yeah. So, talking about the insurance sector in particular, what are some of the core processes, core insurance processes that can be transformed using AI?
Today AI can fundamentally shift the way the core insurance processes are run. And, in today's industry, it's gone beyond experimentation. Insurers are actually embedding AI in a big way in their core insurance processes. So, let's take it from the top, multiple processes. So let's look at the process of customer acquisition. Okay, now AI can understand customer needs a lot better because it analyzes data regarding customers' behavior, transactions, and so on. And as a result, you actually have AI models that can suggest or recommend, a product or a combination of products that suits a particular customer's persona. So, we at Generali Central Life actually have a tool that does that, what we call the Digital Smart Manager. So that's a big use case that is currently, in play. Then you have something like voice AI, where your interaction between the salesperson and the customer is recorded, of course, with the customer's consent. And at the end of it, you can actually get an analysis of how the call went. What did he say right? Did he pitch the product well? Were there some objections that he could have handled better, and so on? There's a full diagnosis of the meeting that has happened along with the customer. It even identifies training gaps and needs that could be there. So, that has the potential of actually improving sales productivity in a big way. In fact, industry studies do show that almost 20 to 30% uplift can be got with the effective use of AI tools, in cases of that. Then there are use cases where, lead scoring, so intelligent lead scoring actually identifies those high potential leads which can lead to business, dynamic pricing. So there are multiple use cases that are currently there just in the space of customer acquisition. Yeah. If you look at the process of, let's say, underwriting, I mean, underwriting has traditionally been very, let's say, cumbersome, document heavy, time consuming, and with human intervention required. But with AI tools today, you can, read and interpret medical reports on the fly, and a recommendation is given to the underwriter. So frankly, you don't need the underwriter for a majority of the straight through processing cases. So with AI, you can actually do straight through processing at scale. Okay, you look at claims, very important. That's actually a moment of truth when it comes to the life insurance industry. So, at claim stage, you can identify maybe any fraud trends that are there, or there is an automated, reading of documents and so on, which just makes the claims process, which used to be in days, now claims can be settled in hours, actually. So these are very clear. This, I think, finally I'll end with the last process being, with regarding to retention of the customer and customer servicing. Chatbots is a very in thing, and most of the companies actually have it. So a lot of the basic policy servicing is done through chatbots or virtual assistants and so on. But you also have predictive models that actually anticipate any trends, when it comes to, let's say, demand surges or any lapsation risks and so on, and so that the organization can better prepare for it.
Right.
So I think, needless to say, AI is completely embedded in, the core insurances process as we stand today.
But for all this to work, for AI to be successful across all these functions, the underlying infrastructure is a prerequisite for the success of all these AI use cases that you spoke about. So how do organizations need to look at infrastructure modernization in the AI era?
I think you're absolutely right, and this is something that most insurers probably miss. See, for us to leverage AI to the fullest, you have to first build the foundation, that lets you leverage it. So it's not just about getting more technology and more AI tools and so on, but it's about building a foundation that is built for speed or for scalability, and it helps in, let's say, intelligent decision making. So these are things, there are some pillars towards which an organization really needs to prepare for. For example, I will take first and foremost comes actually data architecture. They say that AI is only as good as the data behind it. So it's very important that the data which tends to lie in silos is integrated across a unified data lake. You have very structured data sets. You have real-time integration of systems and access to data. I think that's a very critical component that people need to invest in. The second is, as organizations are growing, more and more AI is embedded into their processes, you need a lot more computing power. And as a result, you need to build an ecosystem, which is cloud scalable. Okay, or sometimes if there are demand surges, you need to actually build and plan for on-demand computing power that you might need. Okay, the old legacy systems are actually quite cumbersome, and hence they need to be made flexible for API, flow of data and all on a real-time basis. And finally, I would say one thing that people really need to make sure the infrastructure keeps space is the space of entire data governance and cybersecurity.
Right.
So you really need, very robust cybersecurity frameworks. You need very clearly identified role-based access, audit trails of data, who accesses it, unauthorized data, and so on. With the DPDP Act coming into play very soon, so data protection and privacy is absolutely critical for all organizations,
Right.
and so on. So I think organizations need to be sure that they need to first invest in this, and this takes time and money. Okay, but they need to invest in this and make sure that the infrastructure is robust to actually support AI going forward.
Right. To wrap up our conversation, I want to understand one more challenge and how to address that, which is that organizations are extensively using AI and ML.
Yeah.
However, they fail to scale AI use cases,
Yeah.
to truly, use the transformation to truly make most of the transformation.
Yes. I think you're right. See, many organizations do a lot of, and they have successfully done a lot of AI pilot cases. Okay, and so there is no dearth or lack of experimentation. But to be very frank, there are very few organizations that have managed to replicate this at that enterprise-wide scale. Again, some industry data seems to suggest that within the life insurance space in India, almost 90% of the companies are either evaluating or kind of implementing some kind of AI use case, but only 7% of the cases of the companies have actually successfully implemented it enterprise wide. And I think therein lies the challenge. So there are many barriers which you have to overcome before you can actually leverage AI to the fullest. And I think the first one being about data. Let's face it, the legacy systems in the insurance companies were not built for AI. Okay, and you have data which is fragmented and lying in silos. So first and foremost, it's about getting a completely unified view of the data across all the systems, whether it's sales data, underwriting data, claims, or servicing, and any customer touch point possible. So that data needs to be at one place and easily accessible. It needs to be API enabled, real time, and so on. So this is one thing that really requires time and investment. And most people tend to do small projects, but they don't see the big picture. And I think that's the second barrier, which is AI being a buzzword. Everyone wants to do a few pilots and a couple of use cases and so on, and they've been very successful. I must say, but trying to scale it up and for at an enterprise level, that requires a different level of thinking. Saying that every department should think of AI, what they can use and how they can use it in their respective spheres. I'll come to the people angle of it, okay, because I think that is another big barrier what limits companies from actually leveraging it. Okay, so let's face it, AI is a big disruption, and there is a certain fear and insecurity in people's minds and so on. So it's very important that you are spending time and money and effort in upskilling people and making sure they are ready for the challenges that AI brings to them. Okay, now whether AI will replace humans or not, I think maybe that's still open to debate. But rest assured, a human who uses AI effectively will, in all probability, replace a human who doesn't use it as effectively. So that is a bit of reality. But as an organization, I think we need to build this AI-first culture. We need to invest time in training and upskilling our people to make sure they are almost AI enabled to take on the challenges.
Great.
I think
Thank you
this is
so
a big
much.
thing.
Thank you so much, Mohit.
Most,
We started with technology and
yeah.
then we ended it with people. So a very apt summary of what it means to make AI successful in the organization. Thank you so much.
Sure. Thanks, Shruti. Thank you very much. Yeah. Thanks a lot.